When you are in the field to cook, the majority of people usually tend to lead either with a JETBOIL or a cup. So I put this through my system, the E.M.E system, and I evaluated this on efficiency, I evaluated this on mobility, and I evaluated this on endurance. And I'm gonna give you the whole score like I always do in a post. That way you see all the scoring and everything that I wrote in there. And I encourage you to go see it. It's gonna be a link in the description that is gonna take you to that post. But I wanted to share with y'all a couple of things that perhaps it will help you make a decision if you need to choose a system. Because I'm not saying that this is for me. This is what I'm saying. The system that I'm putting together is for me, for my need. I'm not saying that it's the one for you. I want you to do your due diligence. You need to make sure that your system is right for you. I'm just sharing with you what I have and the reason why I'm doing the way that I'm doing it. Yours may be different. Okay, so this is one of those things, guys, that you really need to get a piece of paper and write things down and analyze it your way. It's not my way. I'm just sharing with you the way that I've done it. But this is you. You have the power here. So, first of all, we got to look at this as efficient. Which system is more efficient? The Pathfinder with a stove, and let's disclose what stove I have. A lot of folks of you, a lot of folks usually tend to go to Amazon and get one of these cheap stoves. I have it. This is the one Last uses. They're fine. They're perfectly fine. They work perfectly fine during summertime. I'm not gonna say that they work in wintertime because I don't use this in wintertime. Last has it just to have it, but when he's with me, he uses my stove. What I use, and that there's one right there in my summer pack. I'm gonna grab it, and this way you guys see why I choose this and the reason why. Because in my summer pack, on the Maxpedition, this is the Maxpedition. Yes, it is. I have one of these little containers, the JETBOIL containers, and this is on top, and it fit perfectly. So this is a Snow Peak stove, guys. At least mines are old, and what I mean old, older than my son. So they are over 15 years old, and they're still alive and kicking. They are so old that back then they didn't come with the electronic striker. You needed to use a lighter, hence the reason why in this one I had a little lighter in there. I usually just put it like this, and it goes straight in the package. Boop. Close it, and that's it. But what I did is, again, this is just because these ones are so old. Nowadays you can buy the same one way cheaper, way cheaper. You guys would not believe how much I paid for this back in the day, because there was significant. But this ones didn't come with the striker, so you're gonna have to purchase the striker separately. Are they expensive? No. But nowadays, again, I purchased this separate because the mines are old. The new ones come with the striker, and of course, like everything, I'm putting my gear in the description so you guys can see it. I stand behind this 100%. 100%. I'm just gonna come on and say it. This, to me, is a yes. I'm just gonna say it the way it is. That to me, Snow Peak is it. The other ones, playing around, but Snow Peak is where I put my reputation on the line, if you will. Now, that being said, I got that out of the way. That's the stove that we're gonna be using because it's the one that I trust. Me, personally. Remember, you gotta do yours. And I have right next to it a Pathfinder cup. And that one, right there, there's a Pathfinder bottle. I use stainless steel during summertime because during wintertime, if I use stainless steel, if I put that metal on my lip, I'm gonna live. Half of the lip, the skin, is gonna rip it off. You know this if you live in the cold. So I use plastic. All right, so that's just something for you to keep that in mind. Again, my environment is different than yours, but in summertime, I just use my regular Pathfinder bottle, 32 ounces. They both hold the same amount of water. So one is plastic during winter, one is stainless steel during summer. Okay, so and let's touch on this first so you guys can understand. This one is a fairly new cup. The one that I have in here is not, but this one is, and I have two, by the way. Just as an FYI. That's why it looks so shiny, if you will. You know, a lot of times this is the one that I have been using. I think I shared that with y'all. It's a little. I try to clean it. I know some folks like to have it just, I don't know, dark and black. I clean my stuff. Anyways, when it comes to efficiency, the JETBOIL is 10 out of 10. It's 10 out of 10. There's no beating the JETBOIL at all. The Snow Peak with the cup is 5 out of 10. Flat out. The problem is that the JETBOIL, without this, it goes 0 out of 10. That right there, yeah, the cup, a stainless steel cup is gonna get a little dirty, but it keeps on going. So that gives, without fuel, that right there, a 9 out of 10. If you wonder why it's a 9 out of 10, just go look at the post later on so you can read it. Now, mobility. The JETBOIL gets a 7 out of 10. And the reason is because it's a little heavier. It is a little heavier. I'm going to try to put the pictures, and I think I shared that in the community post. But yeah, it's a little heavier, so it gets a 7 out of 10. The Snow Peak stove with the Pathfinder cup, I guess a 9 out of 10. It's lighter, and let me share something with y'all as well. This one, there's nothing in there. It's just the stove. I can throw this anywhere. You see? That's the way that I have it on the side. I cannot do that with this. I just can't, because everything is in here. Everything. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to mobility, I will say that this system right here is preferable, because I mean, all you have left are these two, and quite frankly, you can just put this, like I have it in here. They just in that pocket right there. Easy and accessible. You cannot say that with the JETBOIL. It's a little bit more bulky, less maneuverable, if you will. Also, we have to consider that, again, if you run out of fuel, you can't put the JETBOIL directly on the fire. So the JETBOIL without fuel is like you just carrying that way. So there's the mobility. I mean, you might as well just toss it. You won't do anything with it. I mean, I guess you can just ruin the whole thing, rip that thing off, and just throw it in the fire and screw everything. It doesn't have a handle, so I don't know how you're gonna get it, because this is the handle. So you're gonna have to remove all of this and put this directly on the fire. I guess you could do it, but you're gonna ruin the whole thing. You don't ruin anything on the other one. I'm being honest with y'all. Being honest. However, because it's so efficient, if you don't run the risk of running out of fuel, my friends, that remains king. It really does. I just gonna say I have to give you the entire picture, because otherwise you're gonna come and say like, well, Billy, you didn't say everything, you omitted some of the truth, and that is lying. And that is true. If you omit the truth, that is lying, plain and simple. So endurance, should I say anything about endurance? The JETBOIL endurance is excellent. It burns fast. Uses less fuel to boil. The Snow Peak uses more fuel. It's just a system that it uses more fuel. However, that of out of fuel puts the JETBOIL at 0 again. In the Snow Peak 10 out of 10. So is that this should be one of the key elements that people have to consider when deciding which system you're gonna have in your pack. Are you gonna have a system that you depend on fuel, and if you run out, that's it, you're done? Or you're gonna have a system that if you run out of fuel, all you have to do is toss this thing away and keep on rocking. So the final scores will be on the post. I encourage you all to see it. I put the final scores with fuel and without fuel. That way you can make your decision based on your needs. This is what I'm choosing to do. I'm going with this. Plain and simple. Yes, it uses a little bit more fuel, but I can cook in this. And the other one is mainly just for boiling water. So I need versatility. Plus, it just works better for me. So my E.M.E system, and I had this before in my pack. I removed this, and I told you all that I was going to go through this system. But because of this, if I run out, I'm done. I'm just going straight up with this. And that's what I have been using for my summer pack. So, obviously it works. Now, I'm going to throw something in there, and I owe you this. The temperatures have not gone 10 below or less than that. Right now, it's a warm 5 degrees. It's too hot. I need to be cold, or at least a little bit cold. Negative 10, negative 20 will be perfect to do this test. But I will push it. At 10 below to do the test on this, on the fuel canisters, because regardless of the mixture that you have in here, there is another element that a lot of people don't understand, and that is the pressure that these canisters have. And that's going to dictate whether or not those canisters are going to perform in semi-cold weather. Like an example, -10. Yes, semi-cold. 20, -20 will be perfect for this test. 30 below, oh, that will be the excellent one. 40 below, the supreme test. But I don't have that in the forecast, so we're gonna wait until it's 10 below, and I'm gonna go outside, do the testing, and share it with y'all. That way, you can make an educated decision. Now, you don't have to go with my saying. I'm just gonna share with you my results, plain and simple. Now, if you live in the South or in areas that you don't get anything below 20 degrees, I think you'll be fine with this one or any of them, to tell you the truth. You don't just get the cheapest one, and that's it. Now, another thing that a lot of folks do, and this is something that I had done, is that you just put it inside. They're small enough that you can put it inside your vest, warm it up, and just use it. But if you want to have something that if you're having your pack and it's cold and it will be reliable, just wait for that test so you can make your decision. Again, it all depends on where you live, but I owe you that video. The moment that the temperatures drop, I will share with you. Right now, it is, again, 5 degrees. It's too warm. With that being said, let me know what you think about this. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your system if you're willing to share. And let me know what has worked for you in the past or how you're moving forward. With that being said, I hope you have a great one. Like I was, rock on, rip on, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody. Power outages, camping, work on the go. OUPES keeps you connected at home and outdoors. With clean, reliable energy, OUPES powers freedom. OUPES, the choice of the frontier preppers. If you'd like to support the channel, check out the links in the pinned comment below. Consider joining our Frontier Prepper Squad or let an ad to you run. It really does make a difference. And always remember, those who prepare today will not struggle tomorrow.